Welcome back, tankers. This is McLogo, back with a kind of a preview review of the GSR 3301 Setter, the British Tier 7 light tank, and this is the British light tech tree that is new, and as you all know from PC, imported with very bad DPM. So the tank to me doesn't look that bad. It kind of reminds me of the front of the other hull. It reminds me of the, I think, Scimitar or the actual British light tanks, which would have been nice. And as you can see here, we look at the stats. The gun is kind of nice from pen-wise, but the damage 135 and a DPM of 1350, which is really bad. It really sucks. It is really even worse if you play it stock. It has a slightly higher DPM, but the pen with APCR rounds with Prem is 144, so you burn extremely a lot of money just to get through this grind. I don't recommend this tank for any new players at all. I think this is just for the light tank lovers, or maybe for the guys that are already have gone through all kind of tech trees. As to have good games with it, you really need to play it specially, or to stay at the back, kind of play the scout game. It's not a brawler. It kind of can play the scouting role, staying sneaky, but the view range is the other problem. Stock 360 and going up to 370. Basically you cannot spot a lot. You really need a good crew, and I started with a new Simon Linnet with a snakebite that I had, and had to grind the first few perks, which was really painful. Yeah. The fact that also I think 80% were tier 9 games made it even harder. So this is now a tier 8 game that I had late at night, and I kind of managed to get some kind of decent game. But I think it also shows the strength and the weaknesses of the tank. The strength is the gun at the same time. The DPM is bad, or the alpha is bad. The DPM wouldn't be that big of an issue, but just the alpha of 135, it's just laughable. The nice thing about the gun is 0.38 accuracy is kind of okayish, but the pen 180 on the standard shells is pretty nice, and 220 on APCR. You can really weather down heavies, and that's actually nice. But you need to stay far away that they don't spot you, and that is also kind of an issue. It's kind of hard going against sneaky tanks that are sitting with camera net and stuff, because basically they could outspot you, and once you fire anyway, and it's kind of hard. It's kind of needs a special way to play, which is not in the meta currently. Our meta is much more battle heavy. The tanks that can brawl are favored. Also, you cannot get into fights with other lights, as you will lose. Here we go for the side, for the shoulder of the Tiger P, but it can fight tanks over distance if you can't spot them. This is just once you get YOLO'd by another light tank, it's basically over. It's very hard to win a 1v1 of this, as DPM sucks and the tank does not hit on the move. It's the gun is not made for firing on the move. It's a gun that only basically hits if you're sitting somewhere and can aim in fully, as other British guns also, similar to the Centurion or so. Otherwise, I think, as I said before, you need a good crew to play it successfully, and with the lack of open maps or open maps with enough cover, unlike on PC, the tank will be hard to play here on the console. But with corridor maps, or with other maps where you cannot avoid confrontation, it will be painful. Yeah, let's say it like that. This is, for me, I would say, the worst tier 7 light, and also one of the worst lights in the game that I know. And I'm not talking about low tier lights, but but lights that maybe above tier 5. I don't know of any light tank that is worse than this. I still kind of play it because I want to look at it and want to feel or see it myself, and I will possibly also go through the whole tech tree, and I hope that it will get the DPM buff, because that would, it shouldn't be OP. I don't want an OP tank or a line or so, that would also be stupid, but just, you know, make it valid, make it playable, because like this it's a little bit a disgrace for British tanks, because they shouldn't be that bad. And this Minuteman here just go through the open, and you saw here on the good point of the gun, it's punchy, it can go through the weak spots of frontal armor with 180 pen, but still the Minuteman is of course trollish, so I'm loading up APCR just to have the 220 pen to be sure to punch its armor. And as you can see, he can go through the field, he gets punished, but he's still alive. With this tank that I'm in, there's no chance, he'll be dead straight away. And just the DPM, it's just so bad on the Alpha that you really need to fire so many shots. This is, you can see actually this the downside of it. It just needs so many shots to kill a tank. It's just ridiculous. And we're at 90-10, but now we've got 2 light tanks that can have basically a better view range. Still have to play a little bit cautious. We don't know. There's an SU-130PM and 3 other tank destroyers. An SU-PM can smack me and take me out with 1 shot, basically. Well, luckily our team is still kind of staying together, and there's a turtle in our team that's really playing good, and that's why we also won the game. I still have to be cautious, as the Tiger P can also quickly take away my hit points. I think 2 shots and I'm basically gone, or very low health. And you don't miss this tank, it's actually quite big, and I have to take care or not to be too much in the open, or not to stand still because of Arta. It's a paper tank with no armor, as any light tank. This is a box which is really, I guess, easy to hit. It's kind of small, but still not very hard to hit. Not unlike a Vanguard or something like that. It has a high camera rating, yes, but if you compare to other tanks that have other form or a small form or lower form, it's kind of not hard to hit. And one thing that also is what you should know is it only weighs 8 tons. If you get rammed by anything, you'll take a huge amount of damage. The power to weight ratio is 27.85, pretty high. It goes 58 kilometers per hour. With a pretty small engine, I think it's 200 or 220 horsepower, but enough for such a light tank. And it is really a light tank. And here you can see the good thing about the gun. It really reliably goes through the weak spots, or through the less armored parts of a heavy tank. And this is actually also the way that it's intended to play. You know, just sneak up, light them up, stay at max range, and weather them down. And at the same time, it just takes ages to get some some damage. And let's say you face an Arta, like here, and he has 340 hit points. You need 3 shots to take him out if you hit them. And if you lit up, this can be an issue, because in that time Arty could be reloaded and could smack you, or any other tank. 180 pen, but it bounces. It can happen. And I missed that shot. But then now we take him out. As said, it's not a good tank, and it really needs a buff. A DPM buff would be nice, you know, just to make it valid, just to make it playable for more players. As it is now, I think better players can play with it, but it's really a challenge, and it may be hard for other players that are not that strong to have fun to play with it. So, thank you very much for watching. Have a nice day and stay safe. Bye bye.